Welcome to Where's Wendy? Today, we go further to the deep end, literally. And I learn exactly what happens when you take a resort person into the wild side of Mexico. I'm back with my sister, Marie Lennon, and my friend Darlene. And today, we're testing the limits of our bonds. I promised them a day of relaxation. So we head to Cozumel on a ferry ride that feels more like a roller coaster. My sister is a Miami girl through and through, and let's just say she started to realize that Where's Wendy is more about the adventure. And then there's Darlene, who's game to the itinerary as long as it doesn't involve heights or closed-in areas. Before we left for Playa del Carmen, we stopped at a bank to use the ATM. And here, I need to make a confession on behalf of all three of us. We are terrible at calculating exchange rates. All three of us. Even with a currency conversion app. Open right there on our phones. We tried paying in pesos to simplify things, but honestly, we were just guessing, and it did not help. Somehow it made it worse. Three reasonably intelligent women completely debated by basic division.
Yeah? We're excited? Yes, I am. Yeah. Look at that happy face.
To make it up to them, we headed to Playa del Carmen. It's about 45-minute drive from Tulum to catch the Ultramar ferry to Cozumel. It's about $18 each way, and it's a beautiful ride, provided you don't mind a bit of a breeze or choppy water. Maria, Len, and Darlene were finally in their elements: sun, sea, and no stairs. We spent the day at Mar Latino Beach Club, an all-inclusive day pass for $45 a person. Food, drinks, and staff were great. What was not great, or rather explained the price entirely, was the size of things. A small lounging pool, a very small beach area. I guess you get what you pay for, and for $45, it gets you a lovely small slice of Cozumel. And it was hot. It was so hot. I spent my time doing the two things that have kept me alive on every trip in the series: avoiding direct sunlight and listening to audiobooks. We stayed till they closed at 4 p.m. and took the ferry back to Playa del Carmen and explored the town until we melted into a puddle of sweat. We spent the next day relaxing at the apartment, doing laundry, working on videos, just hanging out. But that evening, we went out for dinner in downtown Tulum. And Mexico happened to be playing in the World Cup that night. The town square had a massive TV set up so the whole community could gather and watch together. And Mexico won. The crowd went completely wild, singing, cheering, strangers hugging strangers. People ask me constantly whether Mexico feels safe to visit. That night, in the middle of hundreds of celebrating strangers, we never once felt unsafe. Everyone around us was kind, welcoming, and thrilled to have us there and sharing in their joy. That is the Mexico I want you to see. Nights like this one.
This is Where's Wendy? This channel is built on the belief that the world is kinder and more welcoming than the headlines give it credit for. And that adventure does not have an expiration date. If episode made you want to book a flight or just made you smile, hit subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me the last time a place surprised you and how safe and how welcoming it felt. I read every single one of them.
The next morning, we did something none of us regretted for a single second. We had been in the water all week. The ocean in Cozumel, the enclosed cave at Tom Chaha that gave Darlene her first real bout of claustrophobia. But today was the day dedicated entirely to the thing I have been most excited about before we ever booked this trip. Cenote Day. Not every cenote is created equal. We went to two that day. One of them I would go back to tomorrow if you asked me. The other one, I would not go back if you paid me. Our first stop was Cenote Corazon, heart-shaped, $11 to enter. It was lovely, cool, clean, and possibly clear water, watching fish drip below us as we snorkeled. Very laid back, mostly adults, no life jacket requirement, and they even let me fly the drone. 10 out of 10. This is a cenote I tell people to seek out.
The bathrooms. And they're nice and clean and smell good. And it's lovely. It's the shape of a heart. But the water is crystal clear. Look how pretty clean that is. Okay.
The second cenote of the day, Zenway, was a different experience entirely. $15 to enter, and it honestly looked more like a quarry than a natural wonder. The woman who greeted us spent a full 5 minutes reviewing every rule, every do, every don't, and life vests were mandatory at all times, no exceptions. Meanwhile, kids were jumping in right on top of us with zero enforcement whatsoever. The whole thing felt controlling in exactly the wrong places, and lax in exactly the wrong places. I would not go back. That is the honest truth. I would rather tell you which cenote earned its entrance fee than pretend they were all equally wonderful. Cold water, bad math, and now one cenote to remember and one to warn you about. That's Tulum for you, and never let you get too comfortable. In our next episode, we're heading to Escarte for a 50-attraction marathon, which we will not come close to finishing in one day in the 90-degree heat. And a river with absolutely no current, despite what the name Lazy River implies. We finished the week off with getting lost in a magical haunted forest in the dark. And I finally give my sister what she lives for, an all-inclusive for a day, where I have to defend our lunch from a very aggressive wild animal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.